Think about the last time you walked through your local market or the school canteen. Have you ever wondered how all those different sellers decide exactly what items to stock and in what quantities? To understand that, we have to look at the people behind the stalls. Anyone who creates, manufactures, or provides goods and services is a producer. The physical or digital space where these producers interact with buyers to determine prices is the market. Bringing goods to this market requires deliberate decision-making to select the best course of action from different alternatives. It also requires strict budgeting to manage exactly how resources are spent to get those goods on the shelf. This brings us to a formal definition. Supply is the specific quantity of a good or service that producers are willing and able to provide to the market at different prices. Notice how the price and the quantity supplied move together over a given period. But a producer's reaction time is limited by physical constraints. In the short run, certain production factors are fixed. A manufacturer might have a set number of machines, or a farmer a specific amount of land, meaning they cannot immediately increase output even if prices rise. Give them enough time, however, and we enter the long run. In this time frame, producers can adjust every factor of production, hiring more staff, buying more land, or installing new technology to meet shifting market conditions. This relationship between price, quantity, and time provides the basic logic for how resources move through a market, whether in a small shop or a large-scale industry. We can see this logic in action by looking at the four specific types of supply. First, derived supply. This exists because there is demand for a separate related product. For example, the supply of car tires isn't independent. It's driven entirely by the demand for the automobiles themselves. Next is joint supply. This occurs when the production of one item leads to the simultaneous production of others. When cattle are processed for meat, the process naturally yields hides, bones, and tallow at the same time. These secondary items are called byproducts. While they aren't the primary focus of production, they still hold significant market utility. Because these goods are linked at the source, a change in demand for the main product automatically changes the availability of every related byproduct in the chain. The third type is competitive supply. This happens when a producer must choose how to use limited resources. A farmer with one field can choose to plant wheat or corn, but they cannot use that same land for both at once. This is the opposite of joint supply. Instead of getting multiple products from one process, the producer must decide which single product is the most profitable to pursue. Finally, complementary supply exists when two distinct goods are designed to work together. Because you cannot use one without the other, the supply of ink cartridges is closely tied to the supply of printers. These categories show that a producer's strategy is dictated by whether their goods are made together, against each other, or for each other. These economic concepts define major parts of Ghana's economy. As a leading global producer of cocoa, Ghanaian farmers determine how much they are willing to sell to international markets based on world prices. In the mining sector, the supply of gold represents the specific amount mining companies are willing to provide to both domestic and international buyers. This also extends to diverse agricultural products like palm oil, shea butter, and yams, which move from local farms into both regional and export markets. And it isn't just physical goods. The national utility and private producers manage the supply of electrical power, distributing it to homes and businesses based on set tariff rates. Whether it's a single market stall or a massive hydro dam, these varied sectors form the backbone of Ghana's domestic trade and its export economy. Let's apply this. Consider the Jubilee oil field in the western region. The extraction process there yields both crude oil and natural gas as part of the same operation. Compare that to an Ajora ranch raising cattle for both meat and leather. Which of the four supply types do these represent? Both are examples of joint supply, where a single production source results in multiple products simultaneously. The next time you visit a local shop or the school canteen, observe the items on the shelves. Try to trace the supply chain and identify how these sellers manage their stock. Remember the four types. Derived supply is driven by another's demand. Joint supply items are produced together. Competitive supply requires a choice between goods, and complementary supply items are made to function as a pair. When we understand how supply is structured, we can see the logic behind shifting prices and why certain goods are available while others aren't.